Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another videos of the paid requests. This time for Kim. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for a film called Christmas Comes to Willow Creek, a 1987 film which I never heard of before. I don't know if this even went to theaters, if it went straight to video. I don't know what the deal was with this movie. If it was a made-for-cable movie. I don't know the details. But it stars two people, the two guys from Dukes of Hazzard, John Schneider and Tom Wopat. Bo and Luke Duke. Pretty much what the deal is they play brothers, lo and behold. And John Schneider, he's more of the easygoing but reckless guy. He's got this girl who's pregnant, played by Kim Delaney. And then you have Tom, who is a bit more of the smarter, responsible. He's more responsible. He has a son. And the son and the dad are having friction with each other. And the brothers have friction with each other because Kim Delaney, Tom was in love with her, but she fell out of love with him, and then she went to John Schneider. So now the two brothers are at each other's throats. John Schneider's like, I'm tired, you tell me what to do. Tom's like, you're being irresponsible, and can't believe that she went to you. So anyway, they're each doing their own thing. And one day, Hoyt Axton, who I remember he's the dad in Gremlins. Zach Galligan's dad. You know, the inventor of those adventures that never worked. He decides to set up a trip. He's a driver, and he's going to send all these toys to this town in Alaska called Willow Creek. And it's a town that's pretty much dried up. It's ready to fold. But Hoyt Axton wants to give these folks one more good Christmas. So there's also some other important stuff in there. And he and the others are in California. And they're going to try to get this delivered in a matter of days to Alaska. So one thing leads to another. Hoyt Axton, he has health problems. He gets in the hospital. And he asked, can you guys please, the two of you, I really need to be the two of you guys to go take this truck to Alaska for me. They don't really want to do it and this and that, but ultimately they do. Tom has to bring his son because his son is a delinquent and wants to try to bond with his son more. John Schneider decides to do it. You tell that something's going on at home because he keeps calling home, but then either no one answers or something else is going on. And pretty much they start on their journey. Now, along the journey, you have the brothers fighting and arguing. You have the Tom's son actually starting to like John Schneider more than his own dad. We learn a little bit of flashbacks to what happened, that Tom used to like Kim Delaney, and then John was more carefree, and it seemed like Kim liked that more. John is more the fun guy, while Tom's more the party pooper guy. There's a bit where, when Tom's asleep, John decides to take a detour, decides to take a little side trip to Nevada, and the kid's enjoying this. Now, the kid I recognized, he was in the X-Files pilot. He played the character, I want to say it was Billie. But he was the kid, if you've seen the X-Files pilot, where he's got the girl at the end, and it seems like they're getting abducted, and all this other stuff happens. And I'm like, why does that kid look familiar? Oh, shit. He's one of the main characters in X-Files pilot. Okay, then. He came back in a future episode. I forget which one it was. It was one many, many years down the line. But anyway, I forget the actor's name. Now, at the end of the day, I wasn't really a big fan of the movie. I think number one, I didn't grow up with the Dukes of Hazzard. I've seen bits and pieces of the show. I know of the actors. I know the theme song. The good old boys, they don't learn, they don't mean any harm. And I do know of the General Lee and the Confederate flag that was on it, which is one of the reasons why they don't show the TV show anymore. Which is ridiculous. I mean, because there's a lot of people that said that they still enjoy the show, and that's a ridiculous reason to end the show because of that. Because there's no hate or anything on the Dukes of Hazzard. I've seen enough clips and bits and pieces that at least know that. I do like the movie. I know I'm alone in that, but I like the movie with Johnny Knoxville and Sean William Scott, and Burt Reynolds. But again, probably because I didn't grow up with the show, and I don't know if I've ever seen. Maybe I've seen one episode. Maybe I saw like a TV movie or something. I can't remember. But I'm not incredibly knowledgeable on it. No, I could say that between the two, John Schneider is definitely the better actor. He's definitely a guy that's got a bit more charisma. He has a little bit more of the acting chops compared to Tom. And as you watch the film, you're sitting there going, I could kind of see why Tom's son is more to John. I can see why Kim Delaney left the Tom character and went to John. Because John Schneider is more interesting. He's more fun. He's more of the gung-ho attitude. I mean, there's a bit where these two ladies are being kind of touched on and almost groped by these two assholes in a diner. And John's the one that goes up and goes, you gentlemen bothering these ladies? Why don't we take it outside? And then he beats the shit out of one of them, and the other, like, stands back and is scared. I'm like, yeah, why the fuck wouldn't the kid look up to this other guy? Even when, like, Tom is kind of sitting there thinking back to his love life, I get what they're trying to do, but he comes off more as a pouting baby. I'm like, okay, you fell in love with each other, she left you. She even said, I'm not in love with you. And then she wanted to hook up with John Schneider's character. I mean, it's not really John Schneider's fault. I mean, John Schneider, if someone's hitting on you, you're like, hey, how's it going? And I could get Tom's point of view, but at the same time, he just came off as kind of a pissy-ass baby. And also, I think that the film was hurt that every, 8 minutes, 7 minutes or something, 10 minutes, it would keep cutting back to the town. And I know it was doing that because we need to keep this town fresh in the viewer's mind because of how important and how depressed they are, and this is the journey we gotta get to, and this is... But I think one or two decent establishing scenes would have sufficed. Because when it kept coming back and forth, it kind of hurt the momentum. It kind of hurt the rhythm of the movie. Because even if you're halfway getting interested in this, now you're back to here where it's just the same stuff repeated. Wait for the truck, wait for the truck, wait for the truck. But it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change anything. There's one guy who's adamant on being Santa Claus. Like, he even stands on top of a building with a Santa Claus suit, and we don't get the Christmas spirit. And I'm like, I don't blame the other people being cynical. The fucking town at that point is dead. They don't have to move because there's nothing else left there. Seems like a shitty Christmas. I don't blame them. I'd probably be mad too. Be like, the spirit of Christmas. I'm like, yeah? Fuck off. Take the spirit and shut up your ass. So, I wasn't really that interested in those scenes or those characters, if you could even barely call them characters. I mean, it'd be like, okay, if National Lampoon's Vacation, okay, the journey's to Wally World, but every 10 minutes it kept cutting to Wally World, and it kept calling to Wally World, it kept cutting to Wally World, and then by the time you get there, oh shit, they're not open, huh? And so, to be honest, it's like you got two brothers that are kind of being pissy fine with each other. You got the son and the father kind of being pissy at each other. You got Tom being depressed and pouting about this girl not falling in love with him. You got John Schneider trying to have a bit of fun. And I think trying to bring a bit of zest to the movie as much as he can. But it's like kind of like people just being miserable for a long while, where I started feeling fucking miserable watching the film. And you could tell it's not the biggest budget film. There's not much in terms of spectacle or big set pieces. There really isn't. I mean, it does look like a made-for-TV movie. So if that's what the case was, then I can see it. I mean, it's not the worst. I mean, it's not Hallmark Lifetime Channel quality. Close. But, I mean, if you're a diehard fan of the Dukes of Hazzard TV show and those two guys, this may be up your alley. It's nice to see Hoyt Axton in there, because I liked him in Gremlins. John Schneider, he has a little bit of fun and charm to the character. I thought his storyline worked a bit better than Tom's storyline, because, spoiler alert, there's a blizzard. By that point, they picked up Kim Delaney. You get the idea that John Schneider and Kim Delaney are kind of on the outs for a bit, while Kim's pregnant, because John wasn't sure if he wanted to be a dad. But after this blizzard, he didn't help. The baby's born. John sees the baby. He has a decent enough scene where he's seeing the baby and he's experiencing stuff with Tom's kid and them bonding. And he's talking about how, you know, if you could forgive me, I'd love to have another chance and I'd love to be that kid's father. It's a nice little scene. And then when they get to the town, you find out that not only is there toys for all the kids, but there's other equipment in the back, and it's all this meat and supplies. It's because we've established throughout the film that John Schneider was a good cook. He was good at making chili. He won like second in the country-wide tournament, whatever the fuck it was. And it's like, hey, you got enough supplies here to open up the tannery again. Now, I don't know if that's how easy it works, that, hey, you got the supplies and everything's fine and dandy. Hey, we're all going to work again. Well, I'm like, is there a shitload of money in there, too? If there's a couple suitcases in there with a couple million, $100,000, they'll be in business. Unless these people at the cannery are just going to work for free. Is there money hidden in those fucking things of chili? Oh, trust me, I'll pay you. I'm like, you gotta get all this shit worked out. You gotta get all this shit. It makes me like, all these people that are going to open up this cannery, are you guys working another job? Are you going to, is this going to be your second time job? You're not supposed to think about it, but it's like, well, how is it just that easy to open up a cannery and get business proposals, all okay. But you're not supposed to think about it. And then you look at John Schneider, it's like, wow, he's got a wife now. He's got a new baby. He's got a new tannery. And Tom barely gets a clue. So then John Schneider gets all this stuff, and Tom barely gets a clue. I don't buy him and the son character bonding together again. I don't think that was done in a way that felt legitimate. I didn't buy it. It didn't feel like they had enough scenes where they could bond and try to work together throughout the show, that they were growing attached to each other again, that there was show growing, this bond was strengthening. Like maybe he's cool with John Schneider at first, but the kid kind of sees more and more of how Tom isn't so bad and how his dad does this and that, and he respects his dad for that. There wasn't really a whole lot of that. So I don't really know why the son learns to be cool with his dad again. Other than Tom saying, hey, I got this job offer by Hoyt Axton that could work with him, and I don't have to drive anymore. Because one of the big issues at the beginning is that he's always on the road and never sees his kid. And so, again, Tom not being that great of an actor, not buying him and his son bonding again and caring for each other again, that kind of fell flat. The movie, again, not being really that much of a big... I can't think of any set pieces or anything really noteworthy to talk about, visual-wise or direction-wise. Dialogue, I mean, let me put it this way. The movie ends with Hoyt Axton talking to his wife, and there's some stuff going on, including some snow. And I think his wife goes, it's not snow, it's love. That's the kind of dialogue you get sometimes in this movie. So, maybe it is pretty close to like a Hallmark Channel movie. But, like I said, I think this will depend on how gung-ho you are about the Dukes of Hazzard guys. They really do. To me, I don't mind John Schneider. Tom, I could really care less about him. The rest of it, I don't know. Like I said, cutting back and forth from their journey to the town, I thought it just broke the flow. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Wasn't the worst thing I saw. Just wasn't for me. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.